Hello, welcome to Welding and Fabrication by Josiah Bach, which is me. This was what I chose for my career. It falls under the industry of manufacturing. And a quick note is the fabrication part is not really fully in the video, as I'm more talking about the actual welding of it. But fabrication is a kind of sub-part of it that you learn along with it. Alright, so overview, what's going to be going on? We're going to look at what is welding, fabrication, the pay and hours you can get, um, the tools you use, the steps to becoming one, how I fit in with it and why I like it, and then some places and schools that offer that training to step onto the path. Now, when you think of welding, you probably imagine this picture right here, and that's fairly true. That's pretty accurate to what it is. Um, there is more depth to certain parts of it and different types of manufacturing, like some similar ones, maybe oil and gas industries um, or automobile industries. They may have similar types of welding, but they're all a little bit different in their own sense. But this is your basic principle. Now, some information. For in terms of pay, a welder typically makes about $10.30 to $31.03. Now, these are the very lowest and the very highest ends of the spectrum, as $10.30 is about 10% of, and then 31 and 3 cents is about in the 90th percentile. So it depends on your various factors of work areas and stuff about how much what you pay. The median pay as of 2018 is $19.89 per hour, which comes out to about $41,380 a year. If the highest, the $31 an hour, comes out to about 61,000, and the lowest comes about the $10.30. Excuse me, comes out to 27,000 a year. So again, it kind of fluctuates, but most of the people are in that median pay area, that middle at $19 an hour. Job advancement is high at the moment. A lot of people need welding right now, not just basic steel, but they also need aluminum types. So it's something that's going to grow and going to be needed for a little bit. That's why it's a good advancement place. Many of the places that you can go to learn about this are technical schools, and some of those are Southern Tech, Lake Tech, and Orange Tech. I am thinking of Lake Tech as something that I'm going to attempt to go to. In terms of employment, some employers will hire non-experienced guys out of high school. You only need a diploma, and then you will train and work on the job and get up. Still, a lot of them wish that they have the school training beforehand at a technical school, and even then, you'll still have a moderate amount of training to do from that school. But they're more, they still like that added experience beforehand, because then you have to be trained in the job for a less amount of time. Main type of arc welding that is used, or main type of welding, sorry, I just told you, is called arc welding, which uses electric current to heat the metal through a stem type rod. I won't explain every detail because it's kind of big. Welders work in many different fields, like I mentioned before. There's automotive, construction, obviously, buildings using I-beams and stuff, oil and gas. And one of the things I also mentioned was oil, gas, and automotive have similar types of welding. It's the same process. So a lot of workers who are not in, they like say they get laid off in automotive, they can easily find another job somewhere else. Another thing about welders is they have to be strong and hardworking to do the things that they do because they end up in a lot of strange positions and in a lot of heavy lifting objects to go. Also, the hours for a welder is typically a normal week throughout, usually about 8 to 12 hours a day, depending, and there is also a lot of overtime considering the schedule. If they're behind, there'll be a lot more overtime, or if they're ahead, there'll probably be less because they want to keep up with the demand. Um, so there may be working weekends a few times. I chose this career for two main reasons. One, that it caught my interest. I've always loved to build and mend and put things put things together after disassembling them. So this is right up my alley. Um, when I was a quick little story about that. When I was little, I would make these sculptures um, out of duct tape and wood blocks. So maybe that's where it came from or something. Um, Second reason for choosing this is a job that I can see the work that I've done and I can be proud of it. It's also a job that requires me to move things and do things with my own hands, which is important to me. My personality results are ISTP, so um, that shows attributes that fit in with it, like being observant, analytical, solutions oriented, and efficient, which are all very beneficial towards this career. What I discovered on my research and path and looking at this, I discovered many things, like the pay and demand. I've also discovered different schools that offer it. The two main I'm looking at are Lake Tech and Southern Tech. I discovered interests in this. I discovered that I like this job actually. It was something that I was extremely unsure of until I started researching. I also discovered the main common type of welding, which is arc welding, which I honestly didn't know before I researched. I thought it was just a typical torch and stuff. Lastly, and I discovered that this is something I actually want to pursue as my career. For me, I kind of plotted out my next steps. This was a little bit tricky as I like to live by the day, not necessarily planning ahead. But here's what I came up with is, um, so I believe this is fit for me. My plan from here is to keep gathering information about the trade along with researching schools that I can go to. I'm going to finish my AA degree at Lake Summer with just general studies, and then from there I'm going to transfer to a technical school and to learn welding. And I have a backup plan if welding does not work out. Um, that I'm pretty sure I will study to be an electrician. Um, as it says, my grandpa was one, and my dad has a familiarity of sorts with doing that type of work. And it has kind of sparked a second interest when I looked up welding. There was always this kind of little, I guess, back area of my mind that also thought electrician was really cool too. In conclusion, this has honestly been tough to find, and I'm still a little unsure, obviously, even though the research has kind of helped my opinion. Um, it is still something I'm going to work and strive for, And the funny thing was, I didn't really plan anything until about Wednesday, when I fully realized that, okay, this is something I'm going to go for. Um, for you guys, or whoever watches this, I recommend that you research your fields thoroughly, something that it can show you interesting things about it you didn't know. It can show you stuff that once you do it more, it can show you stuff that maybe makes you say, no, maybe not that part of it. Um, but just find what you're looking for and find what gets your interest.